Hey guys, welcome back to Little Boy Customs. Today we're going to work on getting the seats mounted inside the cab. It's not going to be real pretty looking, it's just something I want functional. It doesn't have to look really great, but I'm going to make a new seat brackets for my new seats in order to get it inside the truck.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the event you've all been waiting for.
So I apologize if the fan is too loud and it picks up on the mic, but it's like 100 and something degrees here, 106 I think today in Texas. So fans got to stay on for a change. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to work out here. What I'm looking for is for the seat to just barely be above the window like that right there. That way you can kind of see the back of the seat, but yet it's not completely visible. You know, I just want it to be pretty much in that stance there. That way, you know, it gets the look I'm looking for. Now, I've already made one of these. It's taken me several days to make this video, but I've already made one. I made one for that side over there. The problem that I was facing was this new seat that I have here is a lot narrower, and the frame that it uses is a lot shorter than what the Crown Vic originally had back here. The other thing that I'm fighting is I did use the Crown Vic floor in this car, and it slopes back, which is not a big deal, but then if you look at the back two back here, this one's a lot higher than this one over here. So anyway, so for this particular job here, I was kind of shortchanged on metal, money in order to get metal, yada yada yada, but I had a bed frame laying around here, and so angle iron. And as you can see, it still has the bed frame post connector down here on this end. But for the majority of everything I'm making today, it'll be made out of angle iron. And then one small part of it will be made out of whatever this U-shaped metal is. I don't know what they call it. I've had this laying around for a long time. So again, if you're wondering why I'm building it the way I'm building it, it's because I'm using scrap metal. It's cheaper. It will function for what I need it to function for. So that's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. As far as the saw that I'm using, I'm going to use the cutoff wheel on the grinder without the guard. In order to get a 45, I used this saw here, which is actually a wood saw. I just changed the blade out on it in order to cut metal. That'll get me the 45 that I need. And then at certain times, instead of just using, I may cut the angle iron already at the certain length that I need, and instead of cutting the 45 again in here, then I take the cutoff from the original 45 and place it in there like so, mark it, and then just use the grinder down there in order to cut this out. That way I can get the 45 that I need, and this is already at the length that I need it to be at. Enough chitty chat, let's get busy making a seat frame. Finally done with this piece here. This is the riser for the front side of the seat. And as you can see, I went ahead and drilled the holes. So this is going to go right here, like that, and mount to that floor right there, and then we'll build the rest of it off of this piece here going back, and then the top half of the riser. So I got the box put in place, as you can see, it is bolted down, bolts down in there. I went ahead and cut the 2 pieces of angle iron that go on either side. As you can see, this one here, it lines up fairly well, going straight back. Just need to cut a little angle into this part of it up here. That way it'll lay flush up against the metal. Now, this one back here, it's all the way back. And if you look, there's a huge gap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the grinder and cut a relief in it in this area here. That will be able to let me bend this part of it down, and then I'll just weld the gap back up. That will get the majority of the lower half of it done, and then we'll just do the extensions coming up and then the top part that goes across in order for the seat to set down on this. Still have to drill holes to the top and drill holes in this, but I'll do that once I get this flush. All right, guys, it is the next day here at Little Boy Customs. We're almost done with the seat bracket. We only have 2 more pieces to cut and weld in. So let's go check out what we got going on. So, as you can see, the front here is completely done, mounted. I did take a piece of metal and mount the back of the seat there. And then I used that 2x4 there to get the right ride height that I wanted for the seat. Now this is a power seat, and it was all the way up, and so because of that I grabbed a 12-volt battery and rigged up some wires and got the seat to where it would go up and down. And then I lowered it to its lowest setting and then raised it to its highest setting, and then found kind of where the medium was at, and that way it would set up about like the seat on the other side. So the only thing we have left to do is weld angle iron from this bracket here down to this bracket down here on both sides, and this seat is pretty much done. And for those of you that know LB, LB's in the shop today. He decided the AC wasn't for him today. Although I think he'll regret that about noon today, because it's supposed to be like 100 degrees then, and he'll be ready to go back home and get back in the AC. But he did show up for the shop today. So let's cut the 2 pieces of angle iron out, measure them out right there of what I need. I'll show you how I found the angle, and then get them cut and get them installed. We'll be done. All right, so pretty easy on how I figure out what the length of this is. I just take a tape measure from this right here all the way down to the lower part of this angle iron. Then go cut that out. And in order to get this angle, if you can tell, this is at an angle compared to this. So then I will mount this in here, run it all the way up flush, and then you can see down in there, you cannot, let me grab a light. So as I was saying, then you'll take this piece of angle iron, shove it in the way you want it, and then once you get it in there, then just mark that line down there at the bottom, and that will give you your ride height across for the angle. And then of course, I just cut it straight across on the other side, angle there, straight across there, and then it should set in there like that. Tack weld it in, and then we'll dismount, do the other side, dismount the seat, and then actually weld it in. Got it all finished, got it completely welded back together. Remember, if your welds don't look great, grinder make what a welder ain't. I still need to grind some of these down, like this one right here. It's a little too much for me or whatever, but you know, it's going to be on the outside, so I want to be able to it to look halfway decent right there when you look down that low. Remember, these aren't made to look all that great. They're just to be functional. This is just going to be my shop truck. It's not going to be no show winner, nothing like that. I just want to run, get parts, that kind of stuff in this truck. Maybe take it to a couple of car shows just to take something or whatever, you know. But other than that, it's not meant to be a $80,000, $90,000 show car or whatever. It's just meant to be functional. So I still need to mount this back down to the floorboard. I'll do that off camera. And I did realize mounting all this that I'm going to have to work on the steering column. One, it's too low, but I already kind of knew that it was too low because hang on, let me grab a light. Because if you look in here, you see that little white deal right there. That is part of the brake, and if you can tell, the cable right there is broke because this bracket right here is not tall enough, and so it runs across that brake pedal. So that needs to be moved up. I have an inch here that I can move up, so I'm going to try to move this up an inch. That'll give me a little bit more room. Short term, this steering wheel is going to have to work for right now because I don't want to reprogram the computer just yet. Long term, I'd like to take this steering column out, put an aftermarket steering column in, and then that would solve a lot of my problems. But I also have to reprogram the computer so that the PAT system doesn't act up, because if you don't have the steering wheel, then the PAT system takes off and locks everything down. Anyway, here's our finished product. Still need to sandblast it, which we'll do that when we sandblast the cab. There's the seat fully mounted to it over there on that side, so you get the idea of how it is over here. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Plus, on the back side, it's got some storage, whether I want to put speakers back there or, you know, just want to store things in case we go run around somewhere on vacation with it or whatever. That's going to wrap up this video here. If you're interested in seeing what I do for a daily living type job, I started a YouTube channel called Fly By Time CNC. It doesn't have that many videos on it, but it does show the machines that I run in operation and some of the finished products that I make. So if you want to, go check out that channel. It's here on YouTube. We hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And until next time, thanks for watching. Be safe. LB says it's already too hot today. He's in front of the porta cooler having a good time just sucking up the air.